Yeah, I didn't play until I was 17, and I thought that it was not something I was going to ever do for anything but my personal pleasure, because, you know, at 17 you think you're practically a grown-up, which you don't realize until later that's not true. So I picked it up, and I was obsessed with it, but it was my private obsession, maybe. And but by the time I was 19, I was writing songs, and then, you know, I dropped out of college. I went back to college, and while I was dropped out, I was working, like, you know, outside jobs, construction, farm work kind of stuff, and then I continued to work those kind of jobs through my early 20s, and I'd make enough money that I could stay home and write songs, you know, on my days off, or if it was raining, or if I, you know, for a while I was substitute teaching. If I didn't get a call in the morning, I'd sit there and you know, I had a big old Royal typewriter, and I'd bang on songs in my little apartment. I know that those earlier records, I used a lot more words, you know. I don't know if I had a lot more to say. I sort of felt like I was never as comfortable as a musician. I was more of a writer, and I didn't trust my singing, I didn't trust my guitar playing, but I did trust my sort of, my sense of language. But as I got further into it, I felt more comfortable as a musician. And there's a lot that you can pare away. There are poems that become songs, and there are songs that are better off as poems. And I don't show poems to anybody, really. And I'm not a poet, and there's a distinction between those two things. And it always cracks me up when people talk about songwriters as if they were poets, because the demands and the objectives in the two forms are completely, they're interrelated, but they are not the same. And you know, that's my experience of it anyway. There's certain things you can't get out as a songwriter. So when that happens, you find some other way to do it. You get to a place where you realize that if you don't have a life that's worth thinking about and writing about, then why are you a writer? You know, like, are you just going to make shit up about people you never met? So, I mean, you can do that, but you have to, you know, there has to be some time for real life. You know, get up and make the coffee, and you know, mow the lawn, stuff like that. You start out with this sort of idea that you have to be, you know, like that God has to hurl down a thunderbolt, and you just, like, receive information and write it out. And I think I always crack up when I hear songwriters say in interviews that, you know, that they just take dictation from God, essentially. You know, they get the idea, they don't know where it comes from, they write it down. But the truth is, anybody that's got a handle on what they're doing, they pay attention to craft, and they probably spend some time working on it.